video, I'll be talking about CDNs, which are nothing but content delivery networks. So, by definition, CDN is a group of servers distributed in different geographical locations. So, consider an example wherein you are accessing one of the e-commerce site and you are searching for a product and the images are loading slowly. So, in this case, what is happening is you are trying to access the internet from India and the servers are located in US, and the call latency is higher because your request has to travel from India to US then come back. So the cycle is longer. What happens in the other case where the servers are already located in India, your calls has to travel less. In that case, it becomes much faster for your calls to send the response back to you. In this server world, in technological world, it has become very common to use CDN nowadays. Every bigger company which is scaling are using CDNs for their purposes. So CDN provides a lot more benefits apart from just locating server to your country and making the latency call much smaller and making your API calls faster. That's one advantage of it for sure. Because let's say you're searching for a product and you see hundreds of images and you frequently search for that, right? So one is you have to travel first India to US and then the server is now shifted to India. The call is now has to travel less. So that solves one of the problem. But still, if it goes again and again to your server to ask for that images, then the problem is still be there at at some level. So in that case, what CDN does is it also provides you a caching layer. So in the caching layer, what happens is it can cache your frequently used data and can provide the data pretty much faster rather than going to your actual server. So in that case, your server is not overloaded with a lot of call, but your CDN is handling for you. So that becomes your caching layer also. And because it is sitting um, near to your location, it is giving the request pretty much instantly. So that makes your application a bit more faster. Another layer it provides is the security layer. So there could be multiple security breaches that we could have seen. So what CDN generally does is it provides a security layer also to your application for this from the standard security threats that we see. For example, it could API rate limit, it could prevent from the DDoS application, it can block certain malicious IPs that are trying to access, it can block crawls of the internet which may potentially breaks or slow down your application. So we see multiple advantages of it. It can provide geographically servers which are located in your geography becomes your makes your calls faster. It provides security layers so you don't have to deal with a lot of security things. It also provides caching so your application is now much more faster. Now let's see some more advantages which are listed on the Cloudflare documentation. Latency is one of them, which we already explained. So load times becomes much faster. Reliability and redundancy, because CDNs are very well managed by the providers like Cloudflare or Akamai, they becomes very much reliable, and it can also help you in the load balancing. We don't need to go into the details, but it can manage those also. Data security, we already talked about it, blocks certain kind of threats from the internet, provides you some security layers, and pretty much uh, standard features. So in the benefits section, what we see is improving website load time, reducing the bandwidth cost, increasing the content availability and redundancy, improving the website security. All those we talked about. If you want to read more about it, I'll highly prefer to go to Cloudflare documentation.